Hello. So it has been an absolute age since we have done a book mail or unboxing video for you all. And I have some new books that I'm very excited to share with you. So anyway, May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and that had us thinking about our nonfiction collection, specifically our mental health collection. And we realized that a lot of it was quite outdated. About 20 years old was the average age. So we started looking for some updated materials, and we also realized that some of our physical health nonfiction collection was in need of updating. So let's start with those. First, we have the Mayo Clinic Guide to Arthritis, Managing Joint Pain for an Active Life. You'll see quite a few Mayo Clinic titles here because they have quite a good collection of books that they update pretty regularly on dealing with a variety of issues. So we have that one. Mayo Clinic, The Essential Diabetes Book, Complete Guide to Prevent, Manage, and Live Well with Diabetes. And then we have a couple that are a little bit related. We all know it's hard to get in to see the doctor sometimes, and you kind of wonder if it's necessary, or you might not be able to afford to go see the doctor, and so you're really wondering if it's necessary. We have the Mayo Clinic Guide to Self-Care, Answers for Everyday Health Problems, and also the Book of Home Remedies, What to Do for the Most Common Health Problems. Okay, we also have The Invisible Kingdom, Reimagining Chronic Illness by Megan O'Rourke. This book comes very highly reviewed, and it's unfortunately becoming more and more frequent that either we ourselves might have some sort of chronic illness that we're dealing with, or we might have a loved one. So this book is definitely worth checking out. We also have a couple of books on Alzheimer's. The 36-Hour Day, a family guide to caring for people who have Alzheimer's disease and other dementias. This book isn't exactly new, but this is the latest edition, and it is considered kind of the gold standard for books on dealing with Alzheimer's and other dementias. But we also have our good old Mayo Clinic on Alzheimer's disease and other dementias. So this is a guide for people with dementia and those for care for them. So those are both worth checking out. I forgot to mention there's another book that we ordered that hasn't come in yet. It is Living with Parkinson's Disease, a complete guide for patients and caregivers. So be on the lookout for that coming in soon. Okay, moving on to, we have a couple of books on parenting. One of them isn't in yet, but I'll get the book cover up on the screen here for you all to see. It is Raising Good Humans, a mindful guide to breaking the cycle of reactive parenting and raising kind, confident kids. And we also have Raising Boys to Be Good Men, a parent's guide to bringing up happy sons in a world filled with toxic masculinity. Okay. We also have a couple of books related to pregnancy that we were kind of lacking in these particular areas in the nonfiction collection. First one is about postpartum depression. This is another book that isn't exactly new, but is still considered the gold standard for books about postpartum depression. This isn't what I expected. Overcoming Postpartum Depression by Karen Kleiman and Valerie Davis Raskin. Okay. We also have I Had a Miscarriage, Memoir of Movement by Jessica Zucker. It's a topic that is frequently not talked about enough. There's a lot of stigma about miscarriage, and unfortunately it's very common. It's Okay That You're Not Okay, Meeting Grief and Loss in a Culture That Doesn't Understand by Megan Devine. This is an excellent book if you have suffered grief or loss of any kind, which unfortunately, who among us hasn't? Okay. We also have The Menopause Manifesto by Dr. Jen Guntner, who is an international best-selling author and OBGYN. So this is definitely worth taking a peek at. We found we had a lot of diet books. but not a lot about developing a relationship with food that isn't about dieting. So we got Intuitive Eating, a revolutionary anti-diet approach. This is the latest edition, fourth, I believe. So this is making peace with food, free yourself from chronic dieting forever, and rediscover the pleasures of eating. Okay, moving on to mental health. First, this might seem kind of out of left field, but it has a reason, I promise. A lot of people who deal with ADHD, autism, depression, other mental health issues, or chronic illness for that matter, struggle with personal hygiene and keeping their homes safe and clean. There's a lot of stigma about that. So we got this book by Casey Davis, How to Keep House While Drowning. Casey Davis is a licensed therapist who herself deals with ADHD and depression. She has active social media accounts that she has developed what she calls struggle care. She has a lot of tools and such on her website and linked to on her social media. She's domestic blisters on TikTok, and she has some really wonderful videos. And she's just re-released this book on a gentle approach to cleaning and organizing. She does a lot of videos talking about how if, for example, if having your laundry done and clean and folded doesn't make you a good person, neither does having a pile of dirty laundry make you a bad person. Cleaning is morally neutral. So that's something that a lot of us need to hear, kind of take the pressure off of ourselves. And she has a really great approach on how to clean and keep your home organized and keep yourself clean in a way that is functional for you. And also, she's very much so about cleaning is morally neutral, but you deserve to have a clean, safe home. Okay. Other mental health things. Burnout, The Secret to Unlocking the Stress Cycle by Emily Nagoski and Amelia Nagoski. This book has been everywhere in the past few years and is a really excellent topic that is something a lot of us are thinking about. As we realize that more and more of us are suffering from burnout. The Deepest Well, Healing the Long-Term Effects of Childhood Trauma and Adversity by Nadine Burke-Harris. A couple of books on autism, starting with Sincerely Your Autistic Child, What People on the Autism Spectrum Wish Their Parents Knew About Growing Up, Acceptance, and Identity. What we know about and our attitudes towards autism spectrum disorder have changed a lot. In the past 15, 20 years in particular. And one thing that we wanted to focus on with these two books that we got about autism are hearing from folks who have autism spectrum disorder themselves. So that is this book here for sure. And also Discovering the New Faces of Neurodiversity, Unmasking Autism by Dr. Devin Price, who I believe is on the autism spectrum himself. We have Pretending to Be Normal, Living with Asperger's Syndrome, aka Autism Spectrum Disorder. This is the updated edition by Leanne Holiday-Willie. She is on the autism spectrum, and she released this book a number of years ago. She identifies as having Asperger's syndrome, which, as you may or may not know, isn't really a term that we use anymore. It's all just autism spectrum disorder. Unfortunately, the term Asperger's syndrome is rooted in eugenics and Nazism, so we don't really generally use that anymore. So that's part of why this book has been updated. Okay, Taking Charge of ADHD, The Complete Authoritative Guide for Parents by Dr. Russell A. Barkley. And finally, Bipolar Disorder, A Guide for You and Your Loved Ones by Dr. Francis Mark Mondemore. Okay, I hope that's helpful. We're very excited to add some new nonfiction books to our shelves and hope that you'll come check them out. You'll find them on display in the main room for the month of June. Which, let's not forget, is also Pride Month. So we'll have our Pride Month display in the reading room, featuring we also got a new book to celebrate Pride Month. This book is Gay by Juno Dawson, which I just have to read a little bit from the back here. There's a long-running joke that after coming out as lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, or intersex person, you should receive a membership card and instruction manual. This is that instruction manual. You're welcome. This book is for everyone, regardless of gender or sexual preference. This book is for anyone who's dared to wonder. This book is for you. So this has gotten a lot of really great reviews over the past few years, and we're overdue to add it to the collection. So we'll have that book and more on display in the reading room for the month of June. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to contact us or come on into the library, and we'll see you all soon.